And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Now, there's a lot of people I watch in the YouTube sphere. One of the people I like to watch a lot is Mr. Josh, the old card shop. And I was watching him talk today, and I swear, I think me and Josh, I think we're kindred spirits. Or he's, in some way, he's my brother from another mother. Because a lot of the times when I'm having a thought, I've always found it that Josh will say, like, a similar thought, but one of the things that Josh mentioned today was picking up Crown Zenith. How he really liked the set. How, especially when I talk about Crown Zenith, I'm talking about English, and just when you open it up, how much enjoyment is in that set. It's very similar to like the way I felt about Celebrations. It's very similar to the way I felt about maybe Hidden Fates a little bit. Now, looking at Paldea Evolved, it's hit or miss, but Crown Zenith, when you look at the actual cards that you can pull and you look at them and you look at them from secret rares and character rares and everything in between, it's just like such an awesome set. And it's so funny that he was talking about it because I was having the same thought. And I'm going to tell everybody out there right now. I think there's a lot of good buying opportunities for a lot of different products. And I think Crown Zenith right now is one of the best buying opportunities, at least entry opportunities for a lot of product. And I don't give out any financial advice on this channel, but I recommend if you guys are looking for something that maybe you just want to buy, stick in your closet and store, I would pick up a sealed case of just 10 Crown Zenith ETBs right now if you could. I know it might be a couple $100, and if you don't have the money, don't buy it. But if you're looking for something that you kind of want to just tuck away, I think 10 Crown Zenith ETBs looks pretty enticing right now. Just having that nice sealed case of it. And especially for those people out there that don't usually have sealed cases, I really like Crown Zenith as a set. And it was so funny listening to the way Josh talks about it because I was thinking about that literally like earlier today. So to hear him talk about that, and why is the reason I'm kind of bringing that up? Because I don't usually kind of do that where I'm like, hey, I think this buying a case of something is like a good idea. I never do stuff like that. But right now, I go through a lot of different phases and it depends on the day or the week or the month or sometimes a year. And it's just how I'm interacting with the hobby right now. And right now, I feel like a lot of, like it, maybe not a lot of it, but a decent way to just interact with this hobby now is a little bit more of the passive. And that more passive route is, your Crown Zenith ETBs. Buying a sealed case, sticking them on your shelf, stick them in your closet, wherever you store your Pokemon product. And because I think it's a great set. And, one of the things that Crown Zenith has going for it is all those hits. But another thing it has going for it for you, for the person buying it, is right now we're probably getting towards the end of that Crown Zenith reprint window. Because Crown Zenith was reprinted a really, really lot. Now, in comparison to like another specialty set, look at something like Shine and Fates. When Shine and Fates got crushed with reprints, it really, really like held down the price of Shine and Fates for a long, long time. But Crown Zenith, I think, is going to be able to buck that trend for the sole reason that it just has such awesome character rare cards, such awesome rare secret rare cards in it, and it has something that really Shine and Fates doesn't have, because if you're not pulling the Charizard and Shine and Fates, you might as well be pulling nothing for a while. But Shine and Fate, or excuse me, Crown Zenith doesn't have that problem. Every pack you open is going to be enjoyable. And for a set to have that pack opening experience, I think it's going to be huge for that set. So it's just funny. And I wasn't really going to like talk about that on today's video, but just listen to the way Josh talked about it. It's just like, man, he's like my kindred spirit in a way. He's definitely like my brother from another mother. So Josh, cheers to you, buddy. I love Crown Zenith too. I think it's a great set. I think it's definitely worth picking up a case right now, especially for maybe a lot of people out there don't really ever pick up cases of products either. And I think like a large, I, you know what, I want to say a large majority of the people on this channel pick up sealed cases of every set, but I don't even think that's really true. I think it's probably a small minority, even on this channel, of people that pick up sealed cases. But if you got a couple $100 lying around, I think now's your time to just buy a nice case of 10 Crown Zenith ETB. Stick it in your closet, see how it plays out. Especially shop around. I mean, you don't gotta go crazy. You don't gotta FOMO in like right now. Follow your Pokemon TCG drops. Like, watch what he's posting. Wait for the good deals and pick him up some. I think the window might be closing now. I could be wrong on a set like that too. We might see another reprint of Crown Zenith. I'm personally leaning towards the last reprint is kind of already happened, and we're just seeing right now a period of oversupply. But I think that oversupply is actually going to be eaten up like relatively quickly, and I think the demand is still going to be relatively strong. And the way I like to look at sets sometimes is kind of just the fast forward 3 years from now. Is that set still enjoyable to open? If the answer is yes, I like it. And then one more step, 5 years from now, is it still enjoyable? And if the answer is yes, I really like to pick up stuff like that. You know, I think when you look at sets that aren't really performing as good as a lot of people would hope, you ask yourself, is it fun to open? So let's say Shining Fates. Is Shining Fates fun to open? No, probably not. Is Darkness Ablaze fun to open? No, probably not. Is Vivid Voltage fun to open? Kinda. I mean, you got the Maze and Rares, you still got the Secret Rare Pikachu, Rainbow Rare, you still got that Full Art Pikachu. It's kind of a fun set, and then you look at what prices are that's doing, and it's like, okay, yeah, that price is kind of just hovering, like, it's not doing great, it's not doing bad, because it's an okay set to open. Then you look at Battle Styles. Is Battle Styles a fun set to open? Then you look at something like Chill and Rain. Is Chill and Rain a fun set to open? No, it is not a fun set because the pull rates are garbage. But then when you look at Chill and Rain and you look at the hits that you can pull, you go, well, while Chill and Rain is not a quote unquote fun set to open because that's why the name Chill and Pain exists, because it is literally a painful set to open. Shout out to my boy Cool Trainer Ryan. If you've been seeing Ryan trying to pull that Blaziken VMAX Altar, I mean, it might as well be an impossible card to pull because the pull rates are just, they're rough. I mean, sure, you can pick up, like, what is it? The Slow King is a secret rare. There's the Legendary Birds are some secret rares. But to really pull that big chase card, that Blaziken VMAX, it's a tough card. But, I just say, look at every set when and one of the factors I like to look at is the pack opening experience. Now, everything I do, the way I look at different products, nothing is across the board, like unbreakable, like, feel to it. It's just I try the and even like so then you go to the XY sets. A lot of these XY sets are really going up in value right now because of just the scarcity factor of those. And I always told you that like scarcity will outweigh demand. And right now because some XY packs are becoming scarcer, and I know that might sound crazy to say, but they are. Like they're not as easily like sourceable as they were in the very near like recent past. And just think about the absolute worst of the XY sets. There's probably two sets that really come to your mind depending on how you lean with evolutions. We won't really talk about evolutions, but probably like the two worst sets are, some of the last sets of XY. It's because they really were printed to, in a way, like Oblivion. So Steam Siege. Is Steam Siege like a fun set to open? No, but that's why it took Steam Siege, like individual packs, so long to, gain in value. I know the sealed product for the booster boxes is doing really well because that's a scarcity factor for the booster box itself. And then another set that's like kind of a mediocre, lackluster set is Fates Collide. Like, is Fates Collide like a fun pack opening experience? And the answer is probably no, because if you don't pull that Alakazam, I mean, Fates Collide has the Umbreon too, so it has some decent cards in it. Maybe that Umbreon is actually helping, now that I think about it, it's probably helping carry Fates Collide, but still, like, the pack opening experience isn't great, but, those are why those sets are, at least from the individual pack-wise, they're, like, the last to kind of just, buck the trend and go absolutely crazy. And, again, booster boxes, that's a separate thing. But, listen, tonight is Thursday. If you guys don't know, I go live every Thursday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just my weekly chat. So if you guys have any questions that you want answered, now is your time. Ask them in the chat right now. I do want to give another quick shout out. I don't know if you guys saw my community post I had, but I gave a shout out to Eli right here. So Eli has a channel, Mile High Pokemon. He did a great video titled Rattle Pokemon Lawsuit. A lawyer discussed libel, free speech, and getting sued. So if you guys haven't checked out this video, I don't think I actually put it in the description of this video, but I will as soon as this video is over. I'll link it in the description. But if you could also go on my community tab and you can see a link for that video. But it's a great video, and I kind of want to just touch base on some of the things he talked about. So I guess the first thing that is probably one of the more important things to talk about is, while he is an attorney, he's an active attorney. He works. He deals a lot with like First Amendment type stuff, so freedom of speech, and he went about the video in a very awesome way. One that I haven't seen a lot of people actually like tackle this subject, because I think anybody that tackles the Sean Basket versus Rattle Pokemon sort of drama that's going on, in my opinion, everything is my opinion. Everything I've ever said on this channel in the past is my opinion. Everything I say in the future is my opinion. This is a strictly opinion-based channel, but I feel like a lot of the conversations that happen with the Sean Basket and Rattle Pokemon stuff is everybody is usually very opinionated on one side. Whether you dislike Sean for the things he did, or for whatever reason that people dislike Rattle, which I don't agree with really like any of people's criticisms like that they have about him, especially about the information that he puts out, because I think it's all solid. But like, that's because I have my biases, and I think a lot of people have their biases. Now, what Eli was able to do was, I thought he went about it on a very level-headed playing field, something that I haven't really heard people doing, like I said, because people are just so drastic. They want to be on one extreme or the other. It's just Sean's the worst or Rattle's the worst, and there's nothing in between, and like, what's the law, blah blah blah. Eli broke it down. He was able, in my opinion, during that video to stay very like unbiased, and that's something very rare in this hobby. So he pretty much just goes through like the main chunks of the lawsuit, and he kind of talks about like the things that were Rattle was accused of. Then he goes through the actual laws. He does his best to like talk about what it would be like suing somebody in Canada, where this lawsuit's coming from in Arizona, how Arizona is like an anti-slap state, but like some of the laws for the anti-slap has kind of changed, in the sense that even if like the slap lawsuit is thrown out, it still could potentially like go into the hands of the judge of whether or not like the person that the slap lawsuit went against, and whether or not they could like get their money back. Because I'm not very good at like breaking down this sort of stuff, so I'm not a lawyer. This is why it was really good to have Eli do this, and I'm honestly looking forward to him continuing this series and kind of going a little bit deeper into this. And he talks about like, if you're going to do like a libel or a slander type lawsuit, how do you go about it? Because you can't just slap a lawsuit on somebody. You have to actually slap a lawsuit and then prove that the things you're saying are true. And he goes through like all the things somebody has to do in order to actually like, do a slander type lawsuit against somebody. And he did it very well. He's a smart dude. I mean, he might as well be the hobby lawyer at this point. And when I say that, excuse me, hobby lawyer is, there's a lot of lawyers that exist, but probably very few, if any, lawyers exist that understand the Pokemon market and the grading market and all the things that are involved. He's one of the very few, and no, he did a great job. I was so impressed watching this video. Like, he talks about something that I didn't really know, like about public figure or limited purpose public figure. He goes after that. Like, he just dived into so many things, and I know if you didn't watch this video, you're probably hearing me just stumble across my words, which is a fair point. I'm definitely stumbling across my words right now because I'm not really able to like truly articulate as well as he did on like all the topics that he discussed. But I recommend you guys going checking out that video. It's definitely worth a watch. And if you want to like get a better understanding of how this lawsuit process is going to play out and stuff, he just did such a good job. And in order for, Sean to, prove Rattle, for Sean to prove that Rattle did all the things that Sean accused Rattle of, in my opinion, after watching Eli's video, is going to be a very, very hard, if not next to impossible thing for him to do. And Eli actually broke down like some of the things, especially talking about like the public persona like stuff, or the public figure stuff, how, even within that lawsuit, like there might have been wordage that didn't really potentially help Sean's case. And, this is all, in my opinion, based off of the video that Eli put out. But I recommend you guys all checking it out. It really does a good deep dive into that. But with that said, the next thing I want to kind of talk about today is I'm getting really antsy. And when I say antsy is, I mean, I want to like just be able to like experience the in-person events again. And sadly, my next in-person event that I see myself going to is not till New Jersey. And New Jersey is, what is it? End of July, I think. And then Charlotte is August, so it's a long time away. I mean, sure, maybe 5, 6 months will come quick, but it just seems like forever. And if any of you guys are gonna go to any events this year, while I don't know if Jersey's actually gonna be the best event because it doesn't look like the area that the Jersey Collecticon is gonna be in seems to have like a ton of stuff going on, and a lot of this is just from me texting Ryan, and Ryan was saying, I think it's Edison, New Jersey. He said Edison, New Jersey's a shithole, so it doesn't sound like there's a lot going on. So it might not be like everybody's number one destination, but I know there will be a decent amount of people going to the New Jersey one. So if you guys are planning on going to anyone and you're just kind of like gonna wing it, I always recommend like the ones I'm going to, Jersey. You're welcome to hang out with me, welcome to hang out with all the guys. Don't feel like in this hobby you can't just put yourself out there, introduce yourself, because even with Eli, my high Pokemon, made that great video breaking down the Rattle lawsuit. I'm very lucky that I get to call Eli a friend. Like, I feel very grateful to be able to call a lot of people friends. And one of the reasons I get to call Eli a friend is because I met him at the Denver Collecticon. We had a great conversation at one of the trade nights. His wife was with him too. She's awesome person too, and it's fun to be able to make friends in this hobby. And you'll find, and I don't know why it is, I don't know what this weird, undescribable, like intangible aspect of this hobby is, of why like people are able to just somehow just flock around each other and instantly become friends. I guess it's like the obvious is maybe it's just because of that common interest. And I feel like sometimes the hardest part of just making friends, whether it's in life or whenever, is just to that icebreaker. And that icebreaker of making friends is trying to find that common ground. And because in Pokemon you already have that common ground, it's just so much easier to maybe strike up that dialogue. So, I mean, maybe that's it, but it is a pretty fascinating thing. But no, I recommend if you guys are going to any Collecticons, go to Jersey, go to Charlotte. I know it sounds like Chicago's going to be a pretty exciting one this year. I know Card Party 2 is happening this year. I can tell you right now, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going to Card Party. It's how things work out. Uh, so Greaves says Josh is not about those master balls, that's for sure. Oh, see, that's the one thing. So maybe me and Josh don't agree on everything. I'm a big master ball guy. I don't even like Japanese product, but I am jealous that Japanese got master ball reverses. Uh, Pokebondo said talking about Crown Zenith, he said he ripped all his like an idiot day of delivery and pulled duds. R.I.P. Thinking they restock. Oh, I don't know, man. Crown Zenith has definitely had a lot of restocks, my friend. Kevin Clare said Sun and Moon looking so badass. Uh, he said screw getting 3 hollows a pack. Yeah, some of the. I mean, I don't know if people would really want to go back to like Sun and Moon pull rates, or at least when I say Sun and Moon pull rates, I'm talking early Sun and Moon pull rates because they're pretty rough. I think this is a problem too. Is you're gonna get like, I guess I don't know what you would call it. Maybe call it like pull rate creep. Like where as the pull rates just gradually keep creeping up and they keep getting better and better, people will just get so used to that sort of like every pack is going to have something in it type feel. And if it doesn't, I don't have to open up too many packs to at least get something. And, like the introduction of character rares and stuff really helped to make it feel like every pack was in a way a hit. And then especially with now modern, you're guaranteed a hollow. It'll it's that rarity chase and that rarity creep now and that chase creep where now when Pokemon wants to go back, it becomes a lot harder for Pokemon to go back and take away some of that like chase factor. And people might really struggle for that. I know a lot of people out there they want like an ultimate chase, but right now in Pokemon, there's a lot of cards that are ultimate chases. I don't think people really truly understand how hard it is to actually pull like the chase cards in modern Pokemon. You can go back to like original base set and you're going to get a hollow one out of every 3 packs on average. So if you opened up a booster box, you're going to have about 12 packs with hollows, 24 without. And then, you know, you have pretty much those standard pull rates more or less all the way up until legendary collection. And then legendary collection introduces another rarity, call it rarity creep or chase creep. So now you're guaranteed a reverse hollow. And once legendary collection introduced reverse hollows never went away. So, and then from, you know, legendary collection introducing reverse hollow, your next big sort of chase, I yeah, I guess your next, I was gonna say right before, even before legendary collection, you could start to talk about like introduction of shinies, whether it's Neo Rev or Neo Destiny, but I'm gonna kind of stay away from those as being like an added. I guess you can say Shinins are. I guess we could even go back in time to say introduction of secret rare. So maybe I want to go back a little bit and rephrase some of the way I'm talking. So one out of every 3 packs for like base set, but then you had your first secret rare, which was the Dark Raichu, number 83 out of 82, came out of the Team Rocket booster box, and then I guess you could go to the shinies with Neo Rev and Neo Destiny. So, but then even that, like Neo Rev only had 2 Shinins in it. It only had the Gyarados and the Magikarp. So I think the Gyarados is number 64 out of 63. The Magikarp's 65 out of 63. So Neo Rev is still a very, very small set in comparison. And then Neo Destiny introduced like a bunch of Shining cards. And then into Legendary Collection where you get now that, rarity creep chase factor where now you introduce reverse hollows. But then from pretty much legendary collection, you still have some secret rares and stuff, but then I guess with Aquapolis and Skyridge you introduce crystals, so that adds on another like rarity factor. But then even in Aquapolis where you just had crystal hollows, and then in Skyridge then they add both reverse hollows and crystal hollows. And then fast forward to like your Ruby and Sapphires and the EXs, but none of those were really like secret rares in a sense. They were just kind of the chases, even though you still had hollows and EX cards. So EX added that like added rarity to it. And then into like Sandstorm, and then EX Dragon had the 3 secret rares with the Charmeleon or Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, until eventually like your next true chase doesn't really come to, I'd say, Team Rocket Returns, because Team Rocket Returns introduces Gold Stars with the Torchic, Mudkip, and Treecko. So, and then even, Gold Stars are 1 out of every 72 packs. So that pretty much means 1 out of every 2 booster boxes you're going to get like that tough chase. So if you had a case, you're ideally going to potentially be able to get all 3 gold stars if you had a case. But even I've heard that number going wild, like whether or not how true that is. But then even from the gold stars. So gold stars brings you all the way up to freaking power keepers. And then after power keepers, I guess you could start talking about like the level X rarity, but level X rarity doesn't even really matter because it kind of just replaces EXs. And then but like even during like all of Diamond and Pearl, you still had all secret rares. You think about like secret or I want to say secret wonders, but not secret wonders. Probably like Stormfront. You think about like the secret rares again, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. I don't know why those secret rares always like carry so strong, but even out of that into the Heart Gold Soul Silver, and then you get the primes, but then you get an added rarity, I guess, because now while you have primes kind of so level X's replace EXs, primes replace level X's, but then with the primes you now get this other added chase, which is the legend cards. Now that's something Pokemon had never really done in the past, is where you have two cards that now you put them together and they make an artwork, and they still had like secret rares to them. When you think about like Heart Gold Soul Silver base, you had like the I call it the one card. It's like the secret rare number. I just call it the one. What the hell's it? I don't know what the proper name of it is. But then moving out of like Heart Gold Soul Silver and into the Platinums, then I guess your chase again is just secret rares still, because then you have like a lot of the reprint secret rares. You think about like the Surfing Pikachu, Flying Pikachu, the Scyther artwork, the Hitmonchan artwork, the awesome Pikachu Rise of Rivals Pikachu secret rare, and then kind of out of Platinum you get into Black and White, and then Black and White changes the game, because now when you talk about chases, Black and White introduces like full art cards, and so you get that big rarity creep now, because now nobody wants like half art cards anymore. That becomes the thing of the dodo in the sense now. It's full art or bust. And, with the Zekrom Reshiram being introduced in Black and White base, and I guess you can say you still had, like, the secret rare aspect of it, because you got the secret rare Pikachu still in Black and White, but more or less, full art cards now carry Pokemon from Black and White base. Oh, I mean, there's a huge window of time till pretty much full art cards brings you all the way to, like, in a way, Cosmic Eclipse. And sure, you can be like, XY had break card. No. That's not an added rarity. But, like, to have, like, that added rarity chase, it brings you all the way to, like, Cosmic Eclipse, because Cosmic Eclipse is the set that introduces the character rare cards. And how important Cosmic Eclipse was by, like, building that foundation of character rare cards, until eventually you had a big window of time where from Cosmic Eclipse all the way to Brilliant Stars, there were no character rare cards. But now that Brilliant Stars reintroduced those, so now it's like, okay, now after Brilliant Stars, you got full art cards, you got secret rare cards, you got character rare cards. You pull a holo now, it's might as well be trash. You throw it in the trash. You don't want a holo. Reverse holos might as well be meaningless. So you go through this weird timeline where from base set, your chase was the holo. To legendary collection, you want the reverse holo. Till eventually, till modern times, the reverse holos and the regular holos are meaningless, because Black and White introduced those full art cards, and it's just wild. I'm sorry, I do my little PK tangents. I kind of just going through like how much everything has changed. Just like when you talk about the chases, when you talk about the cards, when you talk about the sets, it's just, if you guys would ever like a video, I think I could go. Well, I know I can name every set in order. Shout out to Nick Old School Pokemon. Appreciate Nick filming a video where Dan Catchmall Collectibles called me out, asked me if I could name every set in order. Every main expansion. I didn't do specialty sets, but I did it in order. But I think I could, if I wanted to, go. It would be a very boring video for a lot of people, but I could rattle off on the top of my head every single set, talk about the chase card of every single set, and if you guys would like a video like that, I'm willing to do that. So, because I can rant. If there's anything I could do, I can rant. And I don't even know where we're going sometimes. So, I'm looking over. Oh, wow. We didn't lose all the viewers during that rant. So, Rachel Pikachu said the baby Shinans and Paldean Fates look bad. The Silver Hollow make them look cheap, in his opinion. Ooh, that's a hot take. I like it, though. I haven't really heard that take. And it's funny, too, thinking about just Scarlet and Violet, how when we moved to the silver borders, everybody was, kind of hit or miss. It's like, did you feel nostalgic about the yellow borders? A lot of people wanted the silver borders because they really like Japanese cards, and maybe it had more of, like, a feel to Japanese cards. I was always kind of indifferent about it. Like, I don't really miss the yellow borders per se. I don't mind the silver borders, but just is what it is. Kevin Clare said ETBs. Wait, hold on, real quick. Punch jump. Oh, shout out to number one mod in the game, Drew, for dropping the 10 subs. Drew, appreciate you, buddy. Uh, Punch Drum Kick said, "Are trick or trade packs fun to open?" Question mark. No. Uh, they're kind of fun to open. Like, you pull yourself a nice little Gengar, you pull yourself like a nice little Mimikyu hollow. You're gonna be able. There's only 10 hollows for the trick or trade. You buy yourself a bag of, what is it, 40 trick or trade packs. You open up a couple of them. It's a super easy master set to complete. It's fun to open. It's fun to open once. Now, are you asking me, is it fun to keep going back and open trick or trade packs over and over and over again? The answer is no. No, it is not fun. But to open trick or trade once, to do a super simple master set, knowing you can complete a master set in one, what was the MSRP, like 19.99 for a bag of trick or trade packs? Yeah, sure, that's fun. But no, I agree. To keep going back, I mean, it's funny too. I've been seeing people like post stuff on, I don't know if it's Reddit or uh, Twitter, but like, once in a while, Walgreens will have, like, I think they're called like lightning packs, and they'll have like a couple random packs. Sometimes you can like pick up one of those lightning packs, and it'll have like some random, like, kind of like a Shining Legends pack in it. It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. It's like, whatever. It's always expensive to buy those things, but it's like $15. But oh, you get a Shining Legends pack in it, so like that kind of makes it worth it. But then I was seeing somewhere like the Trick or Trade pack was one of the packs in those, and it was just like, who's the person that's like, I'm gonna pay way over for packs, first of all, because these products are more or less scam. They're not. I guess they're not scams, but they're way overvalued for usually what the packs are in it. But now they replace one of the packs with a trick or trade pack. So you replace, let's say a regular pack is $3. You're now replacing a $3 pack with a 40 cent, 20 cent pack. It's just like, oh, come on, Pokemon. I guess it's really not usually Pokemon. It's usually MJ Holdens or like another third party. Like, those are all repackages. Uh, Umbreon said, Kevin Clear said Umbreon is sweet. Yes, it is. He's talking about Fate's Collide Umbreon. Uh, Punch Drum Kick says you couldn't pay him the open trigger trade packs. I'm gonna challenge you on that. I think if we pulled out our wallets and we paid you a bunch of money, you would open up some trick or trade packs. Uh, so BKS Collection said, what do you think about Gengar Sword and Shield 52? Gengar 52. He said it jumped on TCG Player, huh? I didn't. Let's see. Let's see what the old TCG Player chart. Oh, wow, it is a big jump. Jump from, on January 21st, it was selling for about $10.61, and now it's up to about $13. Ah. What do I think about it? Don't know. I don't really have anything to think about it. It's interesting. I wouldn't have known. I didn't really, to be honest with you, I didn't know this promo cost this much. That's pretty wild. So, Hypnoblast, is it playable? Your opponent's active Pokemon is now a sleep ability, Life Shaker. As often as you like during your turn, you may move one damage counter from one of your Psychic Pokemon to another of your Psychic Pokemon. So, I don't really know if that Life Shaker, unless that, is it become super playable overnight? Is that what happened? Don't know. Be interested if that ability, being able to like move one damage counter from one Psychic Pokemon to another, would really make a difference. I don't know. Uh, let's see. Oh no, jump to the bottom. Cyril Lewis, good to see you in the chat, my friend. So Pokey Sol said, "Is there a set you prefer, Crown Zenith or V Star Universe?" I prefer English, so Crown Zenith. But if you could pick up V Star Universe for cheap, I really like the thought of like specialty sets for Japanese for the sealed case. So I want to say that uh, V Star Universe sealed cases come in cases of 20 because for the specialty sets it's 10 packs opposed to like a booster box which is 20 packs. So they're smaller boxes, but you get 20 of those boxes per case. I like the thought of like the sealed case premium for Japanese. So if you are picking up some V Star Universe, I recommend you picking up a sealed case. The same way as I said for Crown Zenith for ETBs, I recommend you just picking up a sealed case. Either one of them. I like them though. Uh, let's see. Oh, I like it. Cartman 8228 had a great comment right now. He said, uh, don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate that. uh, People got distracted by the rant. Sorry about my rant. Uh, let's see. Got to the point where number one mod, Drew dropped the 10 memberships. Appreciate it, buddy. See, we got Pokekid in the chat. Good to see you, Pokekid. I got very lucky. Got to meet Pokekid when I was down at Charlotte Collecticon. Great dude. First time I got to meet him in person. Uh, Pokekid's doing a lot of things in the background too. Pokekid's always his brain's starting to spin like mine. I think Pokekid's always trying to think of the next play to do. I know he was going after a lot of like promos and just like that Gengar, the Sword and Shield 52 promo, you know, once you recognize a promo that you feel is undervalued, like, and you start to look at the market and you start to ask yourself the question, like, are there a lot of these graded? And then if the answer is no, there's not a lot of a graded, you look at the 10 prices, you start to look at them and you go, ooh, there might be a play in these because right now the market just doesn't seem flooded with these cards. And PokeKid's been doing a lot of those type of plays where he's really just looking at individual cards, and I like the way he goes about it. He goes about some of his plays with just, does he like the card? Does he like the artwork? And does he feel that that card is just undergraded for what it is? And he's been doing really, really well just doing the promo graded play. So big shout out to PokeKid for that. It's something like I feel like a lot of people, in a way, they say they're going to do, but when it comes time, they kind of just, for whatever reason, stop doing it. And I feel like PokeKid's really just kept that train going, kept it just marching down the track. So big shout out to PokeKid for that. Uh, uh, so Oreo Cakester said that Gengar isn't legal in standard. Interesting. Okay, so it's not even legal. Wow, then I have no clue why it creeped up the way it just did. Fresh Tat says we need more base set Charizard reprints. Can never have enough base set Charizard reprints. You think I can name all the base set Charizard reprints? We could try. All right, we're gonna do all the base set Charizard reprints, and let's just see if we can count how many there are. And I guess in a way, we're gonna have to count base set as 4 because you got first edition, you got Shadowless, you got Unlimited, then you got 99 2000 for like base set, and then you got base set 2. So base set 2 has a Charizard, and then you don't see your next base set Charizard reprint until Legendary Collection, and then Legendary Collection, you get 3 base set Charizard reprints because you get the reverse holo, you get the holo, and then in the Legendary Collection Lava theme deck, you get the non-holo Charizard. So then you don't see another base set Charizard reprint all the way up until, I guess, Stormfront, because then in Stormfront it's like a reimagine. It's still a Rita, but it's more or less a base set. So let's just call it Stormfront is then your next reprint. So then that already brings you to 9. And then from Stormfront, your next base set Charizard reprint, I don't think comes until Evolutions, right? Am I missing one? No, I think it's Evolutions. So then in Evolutions, you get the reverse holo, you get the holo. So that brings you to 11. And then you have the Celebrations is another reprint. So that brings you to 12 for base set Charizard reprints. And then you just had another Charizard in the Pokemon TCG Classic, so that brings you to 13. Is that it? Is there 13 base set Charizard reprints? Am I missing one? Let me know down in the chat. Did I miss any of the base set Charizards reprints? And then I'm not gonna say like there's if somebody tries to pull a technicality, I'm not talking about Japanese, so I'm not talking about like the Japanese Koro Jumbo Charizard, even though that's technically in English, because that's a Japanese one, we're not gonna call it that. But I think that's it for Charizard base set reprints. Oh, wait. Yeah, I guess you can say, is the XY pre-release stamp promos, is that technically a... That's still, yeah, I guess you could call it a reprint because you have, like, the base set Charizard reprint, like, with the staff promo. Yeah, I guess we'll call it. Sure. I'll call that evolution. So maybe 14 if you want to add that one. There's a lot, though. Holy shit, there's a lot of base set Charizard reprints. But the crazy thing is every single set that I named down that line, what's the most expensive card in every single one of those sets? The most expensive card in every single one of those sets is that Charizard. And the hobby, they just love their base set Charizards. And they love their reprints. You know, it's funny, too, because I feel like in so many hobbies, when they reprint stuff, like, people really, really hate it. I feel like Magic the Gathering is a great example of that. Mainly because Magic the Gathering is such a playable card. But when you talk about, like, the reserve list and stuff, you know, the thought of reprinting original Magic the Gathering reserve list cards is just might as well be a sin to the Magic the Gathering community. We saw what happened with the Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary set when they did reprint some of these cards, even though they weren't tournament legal, they weren't playable, they were in a way like super expensive Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary proxies. But how did the hobby as a whole handle that? They absolutely hated it with a passion. But Pokemon reprints something and everybody's like, hell yeah, they're reprinting stuff. I mean, you know how many people I've now heard say that they hope we get like a Neo Genesis type like reprint, very similar how like Evolutions was more or less a base set reprint. And I'm not gonna, and again, reprinting base set is not new. We saw it with base set 2. We saw it with Legendary Collection. Reprinting base set is not something new Pokemon does. And so Evolutions reprinting more or less base set. I know we didn't get the Blastoise. We didn't get the Venusaur. I know. It sucks. But, you know, when Pokemon reprints these older cards, like, everybody loses their mind. But back to Neo Genesis, you know how many people I've heard say they wish we've got like that big Gen 2 reprint? And when you think about Neo Genesis, like, I don't know how you would do it. Do you just do Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery, Neo Rev, Neo Destiny? Do you just make all 4 of those sets, like, combine them into one product? Because in that case, if you do, like, think about the hits you get if you were combining all those sets. You know, you get the Lugia and the T17 from Neo Gen. You get the original Moonbreon from Neo Discovery. You get the Shining Gyarados. You get the Shining Magikarp from Neo Rev. You get the best Shining that was ever existed, and there is no debate about it. You get the Shining Raichu from Neo Destiny. Some people are going to tell you the Shining Charizard is the best Shining because it's more expensive, but listen, I've done the poll before. It was the only poll I've ever seen where there was 100,000 people voted, and 100,000 people, there was all said Raichu is the best Shining. It's not really up for debate. It's just a proven fact. Everyone knows that. I don't need to argue with this with you. Listen, I told you on other videos, there's not a lot of hills I'm willing to die on. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. Shining Raichu is the best Shining. Sorry. That's just a tangent. But, yes, going back to a Neo Gen type reprint. Reprinting all 4 of those sets. Throwing them all into one booster box. Like, man, the hobby wouldn't be able to, like, handle itself. And then you start to even get them. You just ignore the shinings for a second, sure, because then those could be like your secret rares. I get it, but think about just the hollows. I mean, there are so many good hollows. I just think it would be one of those sets that people would just like go crazy over it. But again, they're just going crazy over a reprint. But that's just why Pokemon is that much different, that people would go crazy over a Neo Gen reprint, just because people, for whatever reason, they're just fiending for that. But in other hobbies, ooh, blasphemy. Blasphemy to say reprint. Let's see. Uh, Son of a Merc said 26 years of Pokemon, 14 reprints. Yeah, that's crazy. That means like not even one out of every 2 years on average. Obviously there's big gaps in between, but it's crazy. Let's see. Kevin Clare says he wants an orange glow in the dark base set Charizard. Yeah. I want a base set Charizard reprint, but with the shining Charizard. So you get like, it's just your normal base set Charizard artwork, but instead of like the Charizard being the normal color, it's now the black shining Charizard, doing the same exact pose, doing the same exact roar. If you had just oh, can you imagine just doing base set reprint again, but you just make all the hollows shiny? That dark, like a black shiny Charizard base set artwork would just be game over. Game over. Bazillion dollars. Everybody would FOMO into that card. Absolutely. I see we got Mile High Pokemon in the chat. He said slowly catching up, but I appreciate the shout out. Yeah. I'm going to end this live pretty soon because I've made it 46 minutes in. Made it to the end of the chat. But listen, guys. I recommend you going out, checking out Mile High Pokemon's video. Again, as soon as this video is over, I will be adding a link to the description. Wait, you know what? Screw it. I can do this. So, I'm going to also post it in the chat. I recommend you guys going, checking it out, and then also it will be in the top link of this video if you're watching after the fact. I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. But as always, guys, appreciate every single one of you. And I'll catch you on the next video.